All right. Hey, what's up, Lee? All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started since you're here, man. That means you found it. You know where it's at. Somebody else can find it. How's audio? Everything sounding good? All right, here's what we got, man. We're going to talk about the Elimination Chamber from last night. Pretty good show. It was, it was all right. I was impressed with the women's chamber more than anything. Um, it started off with Sonya Deville, Bailey, and Mandy Rose, which left Bailey kind of on her own because Mandy and Sonya are together in a group there. So Bailey survived a little bit. There was one spot when they were in there that well, yeah, everybody has their opinions. There was one spot there where Bailey we got her arms tangled up in the cage, which was kind of silly to me. I mean, how is that really going to happen? Well, whatever. It moved on. Then next out was Sasha. Then, of course, we had Sasha Bailey against Absolution, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. So we thought we were going to have some kind of little uh, match there between the four of them. I'm going to keep, once in a while you see me look down at my notes because I'm trying to get this whole thing down. Oh, let's see. Yeah, the spot in the corner after Sasha came out, there was a spot in the corner where Deville and Rose were, one was on the top, one was in the middle. It's like they laid there for her and waited for Sasha. She took one off the top and gave the knees to the other one. But the one that was in the middle, which I think was Deville, she like laid there and just waited for it. She waited for Sasha to do what she had to do. That's one thing about wrestling now that I don't like is when you see things um, that they don't play it off well enough that it could really happen. Like when they jump into somebody's arms for a power slam or something, the guy's got to scoop him up. You got to pick him up and scoop him. You can't jump sideways into somebody's arms. You would never in a million years do that. And you wouldn't lay on the second rope waiting for somebody to give you the knees off the top. Makes no sense. But anyway, then Mandy Rose ended up tapping to Sasha Banks. So we got Mandy Rose out, leaves Bailey, Sasha, and Sonya Deville. Then later on, Sasha was going, before that, was going to pin Mandy Rose, and Bailey, well, actually during the pin, when Banks made the pin, Bailey came in and made the save from Deville trying to stop the pin. So that kind of set up a little tension for later because Bailey's sticking up for Sasha. Will Sasha do the same for her? That was the big thing. Hey Katie, how you doing? Then in comes Mickie James. Now is it just me and I don't like to be rude, but boy, she was a very ugly looking Wonder Woman. The outfit she had on made her look like Wonder Woman, and whew, boy, she's an ugly woman. And I usually don't say that about people, but Mickie James is looking rough nowadays. Anyway, back to the match. Mickie James ended up, there was a lot of top of the pod points in the Elimination Chambers tonight. Mickie James climbed up to the top, jumped down on Deville, and then ends up pinning Deville, I believe. Then we had a backstabber from Sasha, and then into the belly to Bailey. So Bailey pins James. Yeah, this is all after Deville was pinned. I'm sorry, guys, my notes were messed up there. And then we had Sasha doing the backstab stabber to Mickie James. Then Bailey doing the belly to Bailey and pinning James. So James is eliminated. Now we're down to just Sasha and Bailey. And they wait for Alexa's door to open. Alexa Bliss closes the door, which was kind of neat. I've never seen that happen before, but what are you going to do? You got to pin somehow. You got to do something to get the win. Then she ends up climbing around on the pod. They did a lot of that tonight too. Like, where are you going to go? What are you going to do? You're not going to do a whole lot by climbing up on the pod, but whatever, or climbing on the fence. So anyway, she climbed up on the top of the pod, jumped down. Sasha flipped on Bailey, by the way, when they're chasing Mickie around the ring. All of a sudden, Sasha's going to get to the top where Alexa is, and she kicks Bailey. Instead of helping Bailey, which it looked like she was going to do, she kicks Bailey off the top. So we have a big boo from the crowd, and it's like, okay, now we see where this is going. And I think this was something that was going to happen a long time. People have been calling for it, and they were going to say that Sasha was making the flip. So here it is. That's where Sasha makes her flip. Then Bailey gives Sasha a Bailey to belly off the second rope, which was amazing. And then Bliss comes in out of nowhere, rolls up Bailey, and then Bailey's gone. So that was kind of a neat spot. And so you have Bliss and Banks down to the final. They tussle back and forth, do their thing. You have at one point you have Sasha laying on the mat, and Alexa Bliss goes up to the top and does the what does she call that move? The Twist of Bliss, which is an amazing move. I mean, that's amazing. I love that. I love to see that move. Sasha switches it into the bake statement, and they tussle around, do their thing, fight outside the ring, and somehow Bliss ended up getting Sasha's feet on the top ropes and gives her a DDT off the top rope. And there's the pin. Bliss retains the title, which was also called by a lot of people. A lot of people thought Bliss was going to retain. She did. What does this lead up to for WrestleMania and beyond? I don't know. Obviously, there's going to be a Sasha Bailey feud brewing somewhere down the line, I think. That's what I get from it. Possibly Bailey, Sasha, Bliss triple threat match. I don't know. But obviously, we have some tension between Alexa Bliss and Sasha. If you guys have any thoughts on that, or what do you think of that before I move on to the next match? And after all that, by the way, we had the Alexa Bliss promo where she's crying and saying how happy she is and thanks everybody in the crowd, and then says they will never be as good as her. I call it the Bitchy Bliss promo. So, she's not as cute as people think she is. She's not very cute at all. So anybody have thoughts on that? I thought it was pretty cool. We'll go to the end, and we'll get questions and all that stuff at the end. I'm going to move on to the Titus Worldwide, or how we do, against The Bar. With Brooks as the statistician. What stats you keep track of in wrestling, I have no clue. I did see that, Lee. Yeah, you did. But what stats is Dana Brooks keeping? And they're wasting Dana Brooks by having her in that role. She is too much of a brawny, good woman to just sit there. She needs to be a wrestler. I like Dana Brooks. So anyway, at one point it looked like Cesaro had hurt his ankle because they had to tussle before the bell even rang. Apollo Crews jumped out onto the bar, both of them, Cesaro and Sheamus, and it looked like he hurt his ankle. And at first I thought maybe it was real, but it ended up turning out to be a work because he performed good throughout the match. I thought for sure he really hurt his ankle, by the way. Yeah, tell me what the stats are that Dana Brooks keeps. I'd like to see those stats. And another thing is, too, as you notice leading up to this, Titus Worldwide had a couple of non-title wins, right? That always leads up to a title match loss. If somebody goes and they win some non-title matches before a pay-per-view, you can almost guarantee they're going to lose the match at the pay-per-view for the title. Happens all the time. And then we're getting towards the end of the match, and we have Sheamus going to climb the ropes, and he slips on the bottom rope there. And of course, the crowd gets on him. they really got on him good, and he played it off good. He did a good job. After all that, there was a blind tag at one point where Cesaro tagged Sheamus, and I don't think the person that was in there, which would have been Apollo at the time, or Titus, I don't think he knew that. And in comes Cesaro, gets a chop block to Apollo. It was Apollo Crews. He gave him a chop block, which was a very poor looking chop block. He gave him the chop block, a delayed reaction, then Apollo rolls down. Next thing you know, they do their move where Sheamus holds him up in the air. Cesaro does a springboard elbow off the top. I don't know if there's a name for that move, but it's their finisher, whatever they call it. They pin Crews, and there you go. The match is over. No surprise. The Bar retains the title. Lee says, I love me some Dana Brooks. I do too. I love me some Dana Brooks too. Then we move on to the promo of Nia Jax walking through, and out of nowhere there's an Asuka mask laying on the floor, right? Not sure why that is, but Nia crushes the mask as she's heading to the ring. But Asuka had another mask on when she came to the ring, so she must have plenty of those just laying around that she can leave on the ground for Nia to crush. This match was pretty much a squash match, except for the person getting squashed is the one that ended up winning. Does that make any sense? Nia pretty much annihilates Asuka throughout the whole match. I mean, Asuka had no offense whatsoever. All she could pretty much do was counter Nia and stay alive. Is pretty much what she did. Whenever Nia would get her in a power move, Asuka would wiggle out, stay alive until the next stunt comes along. Eventually, Asuka reverses a power bomb and then rolls up Nia for the win. So basically, this match kept Nia high up on a pedestal. Nia's still a bad bitch and still in title contention, but just that one moment in time where she slipped and Asuka rolled her up for the win. So there's more to this, more to come, because Asuka really did nothing to Nia the whole match. It was a total squash match. Asuka got whooped. And then Nia Jax annihilated Asuka after the match. So I don't know if Asuka's legitimately hurt, if it's a show. I don't know what the deal is. But looking at it, she might be hurt. But they built up Nia for Nia to still be strong in all this. So nothing really happened with Nia. It was just a match to give Asuka another win over a top competitor, and it still left Nia up in the upper tier of the women's division. Then they had another Alexa Bliss promo. Alexa saying that nobody's ready for her and whatever. So I'm thinking maybe we're leading up to a Asuka, Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss three-way match at WrestleMania, which in my book would be pretty awesome. All right, let's move on, man. I'm waiting to get to the men's chamber match because I kind of like that. There was a lot of action in that. Now we move on to the Matt Hardy Bray Wyatt match. These two crazy bastards got at it. Pretty interesting intro. Matt Hardy comes out. He's in the ring. The lights flicker and go out like the usual Bray thing where the lights come on and Bray's in the ring. Well, that happens. Bray's in the ring, but Matt Hardy's gone. That was pretty interesting. I like to see that because that was something different. Bray's going around looking for Matt outside the ring, under the ring. He looks under the mat, waiting for him, looks for a while. And when he comes up, Matt Hardy's on the top rope, jumps down, gives him an axe handle. The match starts. That was kind of neat. I kind of like how they did that. The bell finally rung after all that, by the way. And not much to this match. I mean, it's kind of boring. Bray doesn't put on a very good show anymore. He's got a few moves that are okay. I mean, I don't know what else to do. And Matt's the same old Matt that he's always been. So Bray misses a senton off the middle rope, eventually down the road. Oh, one other point is I think there was a Rusev Day chant during this match. I think everybody was rooting for Rusev, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure I heard a Rusev Day chant. So does that put Rusev in the mix with these two? Which would be kind of cool because you got to think of somebody that's a little out of whack to wrestle with these guys. You know, you can't have a normal guy. You got to have another crazy guy. And Rusev fits the bill. So at some point in the match, Bray goes to put Matt in the Sister Abigail, which I don't remember the last time I've seen a Sister Abigail landed. Nobody gets hit with the Sister Abigail because he takes too long. He holds it, looks around, then goes for the kiss. And every time he goes down to kiss the forehead, they reverse it. They get out of it. So, Bray, if you're hearing me, man, just put the damn move on. Quit farting around. Anyway, Matt wiggles out of the Sister Abigail, gives Bray a boot to the belly, and a twist of fate, kind of a twist of fate. It really wasn't a twist of fate because it was like a half-ass twist of fate. He didn't do the twist. He just did the fate part, but ended up getting the win. As far as this feud goes, tell me what you think. I have no idea where this feud is going from here. I mean, there's nothing more to do with these guys. Of course, Bray won a few times leading up to it. Matt wins the pay-per-view. You can't carry this on too much longer. Nobody's interested in this anymore. Who cares? Who cares about Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy? They need to do more with this, add more to it. Maybe do a House of Horrors. Well, no, not a House of Horrors. Have a match at the Hardy compound. Something. They got to add some spice to this. There's no spice in this feud whatsoever. Then I'm going to tell you about the Ronda Rousey signing, and then we'll take a little break and take a little questions. Maybe have you guys ask something before I get into the men's chamber match. The Rousey signing was the typical signing that you always see. They come out, you know shit's going to get broke because there's a table there. The thing about this was there was a lot of jibber-jabber between Triple H and Kurt Angle. At one point, Kurt was trying to tell on Triple H saying, well, didn't you just say, 3 years in the work and we finally signed this? And then they stopped, they cut it out. Triple H stops Kurt Angle from talking and eventually walks Kurt out of the ring. They start to walk out. And by the way, Ronda Rousey needs some promo work. she is horrible on the mic. She has no idea what she's doing. The only thing she did good was her faces. She made a really good, mean face. That's about all she did. But as far as promo work, mic talk, horrible. She can't talk. Boy, they need to get her in the back and hold some microphones around her and tell her how to talk. By the way, did you guys see Skip's day off? That guy's crazy. So, as they're leading out, Kurt stops and says, "Oh, by the way, didn't you just say the other day, Stephanie, that Rousey's washed up and you could still take her?" And that led Ronda to turn towards Stephanie, make an ugly face. Triple H comes in, and Rousey slammed Triple H on the table, which was pretty impressive looking, but I don't know if Triple H helped her on that or if Ronda Rousey's that strong and actually slammed her into that table and broke the table. But it was a pretty good spot. Triple H played it pretty well. She signed it. That's over. You know, that's pretty much how that all went. A typical signing. Just added a little spark to it. You guys want to add anything before I jump into the men's chamber match? I'm going to grab a quick drink. And if not, okay, I'm going to jump right into the men's chamber match. And then let's talk at the end, man. Save your questions and get ready. Starts with the Elias promo. He's in the ring. He actually got through part of the song before he was interrupted, which was kind of neat. And obviously, he's going to be the last man in. So he gets in his chamber. Then we had Cena come in, Braun, Roman, The Miz, Finn, and Seth. And the funny part is after these guys all get in their chambers and shut the doors, the guys that come out, the last three, Miz, Finn, and Seth, when they come out, they walk by all the other chambers. And the Miz's reaction when he walked past Braun was amazing. He acted so scared and jumped back. And everybody went to Braun's chamber and looked at him. And you could tell that there was fear. You know, none of them wanted Braun. It was pretty cool. Pretty cool how they did that. Finn was the last guy to enter, which was kind of different. I didn't think he would be the last one to come in. I thought they'd have a bigger... I mean, not that Finn's not a big name. It's just surprising to see Finn come in last, which kind of made me think that they might have him win. So we started off with Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, and The Miz. They tussle around, do their thing. A lot of good bits here and there. No, I mean, nothing really happened, just normal wrestling crap until the chambers started opening. That's when stuff got interesting. The first door to open is John Cena. He comes out to a bunch of cheers and a bunch of boos. The Finn and The Miz are laid out, which leaves Seth and Cena to square off, and they look at each other. I always pick out little things in these matches to see if maybe they're going to use that to build up to something. I'm wondering if they're going to have a Seth and Cena build up because they squared off in there, and I don't know where that's heading, but that was kind of interesting. At one point, Cena picked up Finn and Seth on his back. Cena is a beast. I mean, that guy's strong. He picked up and was going to give him a double AA. That was amazing. I couldn't believe it, man. I jumped off my seat, and I was like, holy cow, did he really do that? But he didn't end up finishing it. Finn escaped from it. And then Cena used Rollins as a tool, as a weapon to hit Finn with Rollins' legs while he was still on Cena's back, which was pretty cool. There was the double suplex. Oh, double superplex. That's right. They were both in separate corners, and they did a double superplex. So at this point, everybody's laid out. Everybody's laid out in the middle of the mat. The countdown continues. Next person to come out is Roman. Hold on, so here Seth did amazing again. Yes, you're right. Seth did good, and I'm a big Elias mark. I like Elias. They need to do something with him. But anyway, Roman's the next one in there when they have Finn, Cena, The Miz, and Seth all laid out. Roman comes out. And then not much happens through all that. I mean, just normal stuff happens until Braun comes in. That's when it gets interesting. Braun comes in. Everybody knew Braun was next because Elias was the last one to come in. So Braun comes in, and all hell broke loose. Somehow Braun ended up with Miz on the top of the pod again. Another one of them top of the pod moments. I think this is a continuing trend. And of course, Miz is up there, and Braun throws Miz into everybody else, which those spots kind of are dull to me because all the other guys got in a group and they stood there to catch them. Whatever. It's not going to happen. If you want to throw them off and let them land on the mat, go ahead, man. But don't let everybody get together and catch them. That's kind of boring. Then we get into a series of pins and eliminating people. Braun power slammed the Miz, pins the Miz. Elias was going to come out. His timer went off, and he closed the pod. He didn't want nothing to do with that. He was staying in there. But they didn't need to do that twice. Alexa stole that in the first part, but it was kind of neat. They should have done it with Braun instead, with Elias and Braun, because he legitimately should be scared. Then, after everybody's after Elias closed himself back in, everybody tries to do their finisher on Braun. This was probably the best spot of the whole night. This was amazing to me. He pinned Miz, and then Cena, Roman, Finn, and Seth all gang up on Braun and started beating him down. Just punching him, beating him down to the ground, trying to do something to the guy. I mean, nobody can do it themselves, And then Seth and Finn lift Braun up onto Roman Reigns' and Cena's shoulders, and they give him a double power bomb. So the beatdown of Braun starts. They're all ganging up on him. They do the double power bomb. Then the series of finishers happens. Amazing. Cena lifts Braun up like he's nothing, man, and going to give him gives him the AA. Tries to pin him. Braun throws him off. Then Roman spears him. Tries to pin him. Throws him off. Seth does a curb stomp. Tries to pin him. Throws him off. Finn does the coup de grace. But I think that was outside the ring, so he couldn't kick out of that one. I think that one was outside the ring. But after all those finishers from all the other guys, he kicked out of all of them with authority. I mean, there wasn't a 1-2 slow kick out. I mean, he threw him off. So Braun's still looking strong to this point. I mean, he's just powering through, going. Then when everybody's down, Elias finally comes out. He waited to the right moment to come out when everybody's laying out. And he does a series of trying to pin everybody that's already laid out, which was kind of stupid. He tries to pin Seth. He kicks out. Goes over to Finn. He kicks out. Goes to pin Roman. He kicks out. Goes to pin Cena, and he kicks out. Obviously, these guys are going to kick out. They've been laying down for a long time, but it was kind of clever for Elias to go in there and try and steal a pin after everybody had already, been through a little hell with Braun there. So then Braun starts coming back. I mean, he's ready now. It's over. Braun power slams Elias. Bam. Elias is out. So he's eliminated Miz and Elias up to this point. Then Braun catches Cena off the top rope or second rope, whatever it was. He catches Cena, which Cena kind of jumped into him. He didn't really catch him, but catches him, puts him in a power bombs him, pins him. That means he's eliminated Miz, Elias, and Cena now. So then Finn. Hold on, guys. Sorry. Then Finn goes to do his finisher on Roman, the coup de grace off the top. But Braun grabs Finn and powerbombs him for the pin. So now he's eliminated The Miz, Elias, Cena, and Finn Balor, all with power bombs, leaving Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. Seth and Roman kind of get together and talk, and they do their little shield fist pump, which was kind of cool. So you knew they were going to kind of gang up on Braun, which they had to do at some point. Anyway, then later on down the road, Seth turned on Roman, which was going to have to happen either way, because if they would have got rid of Braun, they still would have had to go against each other and do something anyway. But he did it while Braun was still in the match, which was kind of interesting. Seth climbs up to the top. He points at he didn't point at it. He looks at the WrestleMania sign, does a big frog splash on Braun. Doesn't get the pin out of the deal. Let's see here. It gets to the Oh, okay. Yeah, Seth is on the top. He goes to jump down to Braun. He's caught him and put him into a power bomb. He power bombs Seth. Now we're down to just Roman and Braun. So he's eliminated. Braun is eliminated. Seth, Cena, The Miz, Elias, and I think that's, well, he eliminated 5 people up to that point. I don't remember who. Yeah, he eliminated everybody. All that's left is Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman, bottom line. Now, at that point, everybody knows who's going to win, right? I think everybody was watching said, oh, great, here we go. We know who's going to win this match, right? Well, that is what ended up happening. It was a pretty cool finish. Roman Reigns had to give him 2 Superman punches and 2 spears before he finally pinned Braun. So it was a little dramatic or climatic at the end. But Roman ended up winning, and Braun still looked as strong as ever. So nothing's going to happen to Braun. He's still top tier main event caliber level. He's still going to be there. He just didn't win the title shot for WrestleMania. Roman Reigns won it. Whatever. I think we all saw it coming. Really, there was no sense in even having this whole chamber match. They could have just said Roman was going to face Lesnar at WrestleMania and had this chamber match for something else. I don't know. But anyway, that's the rundown of what happened at the Elimination Chamber. What this all leads up to at WrestleMania, we can go over that. Any of your thoughts, questions? I see there's only a few people here. Let me know what you think. I hope everything went well. The stream went well. We have tomorrow is Tuesday. We will have the Raw, Rubbing It Raw with Two Tooth. Subway won't be here. It'll just be me tomorrow on the Rubbing It Raw episode, which should be interesting to see what happens on Raw, by the way. I think a lot of questions will be answered on Raw tonight after this as to what's going to happen at WrestleMania. Wednesday, we have the WFW. Thursday is the SmackDown Rundown with Two Tooth. Unless we have Skip fill in again. I don't know. What do you guys think of Skip? Crazy guy, huh? I believe we had a top 10 video put out this morning. Top 10 wrestlers. Farley did that, so I had no hand in that. But yeah, that's the lineup, man. We're going to continue to try and put out videos every day. We're going to have the episodes of Skip here and there. I think we're going to have a twice a week episode of Skip. We're going to gradually move him back in. Hopefully he gets his shit straight and follows the rules and doesn't do anything silly. He had one little problem there in his episode. If you watched it, I don't know if you watched it or not, but yeah, I did tell him to get comfortable, so I guess it's kind of my fault, whatever. Sorry you had to see that. We'll have to have a talk with him, make sure that he knows he can't get up like that, that's kind of, yeah, Lee, it was pretty predictable. You're right. It was very predictable. We knew who was going to win. We knew who was going to win. What's more interesting, though, and what I'd like to talk about is the other feuds, not the main feuds, because we know Lesnar's going to face Roman Reigns, and we know all that other stuff. I want the stuff that hasn't developed yet. What would be a good storyline? What could we build up to make it more interesting? I get kind of bored watching it when you know what's going to happen. I want some surprising stuff to happen. Overall, the pay-per-view was good. Lee, you said it was boring. Maybe so, maybe boring, but there were some good spots that were different. People never climbed around in the chamber before. That was different. The spot where the lights went out for Bray to come in, Bray's there, but Matt was gone. That was kind of interesting. They had some good stuff going on. I mean, I liked it. It was okay. Predictable matches. They need to do more with making the moves look more realistic because here we're not going to put a leg. We know this stuff is scripted and all that stuff, but I'd like to see them do it, make it look realistic. Don't make it look so obvious. Entertain us. Do what you got to do. Don't make it so obvious. I mean, there's certain wrestlers that are good at it, some wrestlers that are bad at it. But I saw a lot of people jumping into people's arms. I mean, when they jump in for Braun to do a power bomb, they would literally jump sideways. Braun didn't even bend over to pick him up. Braun needs to bend over, pick him up. Look good, make it look good. So anyway, enough about that rant. Sorry. I just like it to be more realistic. I like them to put on a good show. Yeah. Any more thoughts? I see Lee, you're probably the only one talking to me here. And as always, we're P.O. Box down there, P.O. Box 773, Bay City, Michigan, 48708. Send us stuff. I don't care what you send, man. Posters, whatever. We got room back here to hang crap up. We'd like to see it. And thanks for watching. The few of you that were here, keep watching for all our other videos coming out. Like I said, we're going to have the Adventures of Skip, man. Skip Bentley's going to be a once a week show at least. We've had a lot of feedback on Skip, and people like Skip as long as he minds his manners and doesn't get too carried away. Sometimes Skip gets carried away. He kept his manners on that last show. He had a few hiccups here and there, but he's getting it. We'll bear with Skip, right? All right. All right. Well, thanks everybody. Thanks for tuning in, man. See you tomorrow for Rubbing It Raw with Two Tooth. I'm going to go off here and watch Raw right now, see what happens. For those of you that have my messenger, send me messages during Raw. We'll talk. I'm going to be here watching it. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for watching Jabber Jabber. This is Two Tooth. Peace.